Carson Prinza, and I'm a middle school science teacher. I teach 6th and 7th grade science. So I invest time in the beginning of the year to establish norms with students so that they realize, like, hey, she's not playing. Like, this is like a big deal in our classroom. I like my technology and access to that is up front in my classroom. And so because I am someone who does refer to my norms throughout the year, like I'll even do it the last week of school, I post my norms up front in the classroom, and so that I can easily point to one, especially if I see someone is doing something really well, like, hey, table 7, I saw like everybody talking, or like, guys, I feel great. Like, I saw you turn your body and face the speaker. Like, you're really thinking about this norm, and I could reference it and point to it. I also give students a copy of the norms, and it's in the very front cover of their notebook. And so when I ask students to think about focusing on a particular norm, like, they have access to it there. So I think I first ask students like what each norm means to them, and then maybe what that looks like when, like, what does it mean if we're equitable in a small group? What does that actually mean if we're thinking about equity in terms of our whole classroom as we like try to come to an agreement and consensus? And, you know, when we think about each of those norms, I think that they also mean different things in different contexts. Like, hey, we're doing an investigation. Hey, we're circling up. Hey, we're just talking with our partner. And try to walk through scenarios of what that looks like in each of those situations, because they can be different, but ultimately that same common theme of that norm rings true.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So in your front cover, last week we put in this like sheet that talks about our norms. Has anyone ever heard the word norms before? Okay, well, cool, lots of us. What do norms mean to you? Luciano, start us. What do norms mean?
Basically rules that we all agree on.
What do we think about? They're rules we all agree upon?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, does anyone want to say it in a different way? Violet?
It's like a classroom agreement that we can all like decide on and we follow to make this class like the best.
Wow, that was really thoughtful. You said like, hey, it's not just the rules, but it's like what we agree to make us the best. What do you guys think about that? Yeah, it makes me think of the word abide. Like, hey, like we all abide to this, like to make it run smoothly and efficiently. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is right here, there in this column, there's 4 norms: respectful, equitable, committed to our community, and moving our science thinking forward. Can you go ahead and just spend a quick 15 seconds and read the little blurb that I put under each of those things on your own? Read it to yourself. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the timer for a minute, and what I'd like your tables to do is to talk about what you think these things actually mean from your perspective. Like, if we're going to do all these things as norms and in our agreement, what we're going to abide by to make us the best, what do you think that actually means? Okay. Go ahead. You got a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think for respectful, it's our classroom is a safe place to share. I think that means like you can share like a lot more, almost, like share and don't be afraid to share what you think about it. Do you want to do the next one?
Okay, cool. So what I'd like us to do is we're going to share out like our ideas behind this. This is like a working document. So if things come up this year that we feel like we need to add to or take away from, do you think that we can change it?
Yes.
Okay, totally. So let's start with the first one. If in our classroom we're going to be respectful, how do we actually make our classroom a safe place to share? Like, what do we as classmates and teachers need to do? Lucy, start. What do you think we need to do?
Respecting like everybody else's ideas and like respecting everybody else as they're sharing.
What does that look like though?
Like everybody being quiet while one person's talking about something that they think.
What do we think about that?
Yeah.
Like, let the talker talk? Can we write that down here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, let the talker talk. Lucy said something else too, that we want to respect others. Skylar, can you still see okay? Okay. What does that mean, like, if we're like respecting others' ideas, though, especially if we want the classroom to be safe? Because I know that, like, when you walk or bike or take the bus, your parents drop you off. Like, your parents want it to be a safe place. What do you think that means, Jack?
Well, for this classroom, you can talk about anything you want and not be judged.
Oh, is that going to be helpful that when we share ideas that we're not judged?
Yeah.
Do you think somebody this year might share an idea that we don't agree with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You disagree politely.
Ooh, disagreeing politely. Yeah, like so not maybe raising our voice, right, or yelling at them. Okay, cool. So I heard Jack say like, don't. What did you say, Jack? Don't do what with their ideas?
Don't judge people.
What do you think about that? Don't judge people?
Yeah.
Cool, great. Don't judge people.
Asking students like what they think that means or what it looks like puts it in context for them, and it's meaningful to them. Not me as the teacher leading them into thinking the way that I want to think, but it gives them ownership over that. And that kid says like, hey, I should be willing to share an idea and not be judged, and I brought up safety. And so how do we go back to those norms and think like, hey, how do we move our thinking forward if as a class we don't have a safe place to share that? And recognizing that the way that, me as a student, the way that I say something, I need to be willing to take that risk, not have fear that someone is going to judge me, that depending upon, what my native language is, that maybe the way that I say it, or maybe I have a disability and it's not the same way as what other people would consider, like, I need to know that my classmates value that. And that's just a really important part too of being part of a community. When I started was like, great, this is like part of my first week routine and I've got it down and okay, and then I kind of forgot about it. And the longer that I've taught this way, I'll be honest with you guys, like I will literally reference my norms like almost daily. And it's so important because if this is what we agreed upon at the beginning of the year, like, and I put so much emphasis on it, like we need to recognize that we need to come back to it. Like how many times in our life as adults have we done something and we need to go back to it and go back to it and go back to it and go back to it. And we need to do that for our kids too. Like the middle schoolers' brains are still developing. They don't always remember everything. Like we need to put it in terms of another context or kind of bridge that gap, how they can use the same norm across a different activity or lesson or unit, a different point in the year with new table mates. And so in the beginning, I was like, did it, check, my beginning of the year thing. And now it's like, no, I do it all the time. It's just like a part of my daily routine.